We're back for episode 5, chapter 13 of The Mandalorian.
Yes, with that tracking device installed on the Razor Crest, we're excited to see where Mando's going to take us this week.
Let's get started. Punch it.
They told me they fixed it.
Hey Star Wars fans, before we get started, you know the drill. Do us a favor and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.
And as always, obliterate that like button.
But no disintegrations. Warning that they're getting attacked.
Looks like it.
There we go.
Just right off the bat.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Deadly, man.
And the question is, like, I always wonder when they see this, like, they think, like, they know what a Jedi is? Do they know it, you know?
Jeez.
Huh.
She looks deadly.
She looks pretty good. So, like, perfect. She looks perfect.
Yep.
You know, like,
It's,
almost cartoon-like,
they,
but not.
they were saying online that she was like perfect cosplay looking. Like,
Yeah.
Jedi.
The Jedi. Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm more excited for this episode than I was for Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Of course. Ahsoka's a fan favorite, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's gonna needs a force to twist it off and take it.
Maybe.
Little shift.
Is there something no good? Stealing cookies, stealing pieces of shit. He's gonna stop here, and I can see what's gonna happen. That leader there is gonna recruit him.
Hire him to take out Ahsoka.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be.
Is that one of those torture droids?
It sure looks like it. I think it is. So obviously this ruler isn't from here. Just came and like overtook the people maybe.
On public display.
Yeah, execution sticks, some sorts.
As I said, my price is high.
Beskar.
Yeah.
He's using her for information to
Well,
find.
yeah, it's gotta be.
What does this mean? I keep it around for luck. You're gonna need it where you're headed.
Smart to do it that way.
Wait, is that Michael Biehn?
Might be.
Kind of look familiar.
It did look like. Okay, so he's kind of using her to go find the Jedi and talk to her. But he's gonna fight her? That's the real question.
Well, I'm
Pick her
thinking
brain.
because she doesn't know who he is.
Yeah,
She's not going to be receptive to a Mandalorian coming in right away, probably.
probably not. Probably not. That's awesome. Telepathically
Communicating.
communicating, yeah.
Grogu and I can feel each other.
Grogu.
Grogu?
Yeah.
Grogu.
Tripped out. He's like, this is crazy.
Trying to sound smooth like it.
They just threw it.
He doesn't understand. Grogu.
Perks up.
Take the stone.
So you pull out that little piece, maybe? Chip piece?
Oh, yeah. Maybe it'll do that.
Yeah.
She won't train him.
Yeah, I don't think so, but she sent him somewhere else.
Yeah. Somebody who's a little more.
Who? Like the only one that's out there right now is Luke and Leia.
True.
Are they?
So don't
There's still some people left.
Well, I guess, but like who?
We never knew she was left either.
True.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi. They'll never see it coming.
Oh, she looks good.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody was worried.
No, they did an awesome job with her.
I mean, she's a good actress too, right? So
Well, she-
this doesn't hurt.
Great. I'm really hoping there's a spin-off with her.
It'd be pretty good.
Nice. That's a Filoni look right there.
Oh, for sure.
I wonder if he directed this.
Yeah. He's set to direct one this year, so
They're getting everything right about this. It's freaking deadly. That's Star Wars.
yeah. I never thought we'd get to see live action, so okay.
Never.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So. Oh.
That is awesome. That is great.
Oh,
It's a great shot.
man.
Showdown.
Yeah. It's interesting that the lightsabers cut through Beskar.
I guess that's why it was hard to kill Mandalorians.
Yeah.
That's a cool shot.
He's still always waiting for that droid to come across, eh?
Mm-hmm. Stalin.
Yeah. Classic. There you go. It's like an old high noon
The old
draw.
West, yep.
Old high noon draw. I love it.
Oh, there's the droid.
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Nice.
It's all coming together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was the actual leader?
I mean,
Think she'll disappear?
I don't. Probably. She's not going to train him.
No. If he doesn't want to get rid of him.
if he reaches out through the Force, there's a chance the Jedi can sense his presence. Becomes the-
Luke.
You think so?
Luke's training.
Oh, he is.
Luke's searching for Jedi to train.
It's true.
Wouldn't that be killer if Luke's in this?
That'd be something.
That would top it off for me.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is all going to be part of that Filoni verse they keep talking about.
It's gotta be.
That would be deadly. God, she looks good.
No, it's
That is awesome.
crazy.
Perfect casting.
Oh, yeah.
And they did a great job on her makeup.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dave Filoni.
You know, to see who written by him too.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
It's his baby.
Yeah.
Michael Mann,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah. It is.
That was good.
Yeah. So there it is. The episode, The Jedi.
And probably the best episode out of the both seasons, actually.
Yeah, like it was dynamic, really. I think anytime you throw lightsabers in and some lightsaber battles, it just makes it Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it kind of. I don't want to say it stole the thunder of the episode, but it did because it was awesome. Like, you got Jedi.
Yeah.
You got arguably one of the most loved characters from Clone Wars, and they did a great job on her. Great casting, great makeup, portrayed it well, and I just had a feeling everything you saw visually looked like the cartoon. Like the shots were aimed like portrayed like the original Clone Wars shots.
Yeah.
Where Ahsoka was over his shoulder in the background there,
Mm-hmm.
and I just instantly thought, this is Dave Filoni.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And you can tell Dave Filoni's his personal touch. I mean, it's his baby, right? He basically wrote, directed, did all the Clone Wars stuff. That's what he came up with. Came up with all of it. I mean, I don't know whether he came up with Ahsoka, the character stuff, or it was George Lucas that had the idea. Obviously, there's collaboration, I'd imagine. But yeah, and who better to direct it when you have Ahsoka?
Written and directed.
Yeah,
by him.
and you're mentioning Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, you're going back to the Clone Wars.
I think you're going back to Rebels, the way it left off.
Yeah.
And because there's been talk about doing the spin-off cartoon, a sequel series of the cartoon. Is this just one way of leading into the cartoon?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's all it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a live action series. And I'm hoping it's a live action series after seeing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly.
Because it was deadly.
I would think that they'd be crazy not to do live action. I guess I know it costs more money, but the fans want to see it.
Oh.
I mean, people are going to watch it. You're going to watch Ahsoka battle looking for a live action Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I am 100% in if they do that. It was absolutely deadly the way they did it. If it's a Dave Filoni show, I'm definitely in because he just, he has that feel for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he nailed this episode.
Well, I think what I like about it is that George Lucas trusted him. And he's obviously, he put out some great content that we all got behind. We watched the show, we love the characters, and I mean, little tidbits. I love the fact that, she talked about kind of the Clone Wars stuff happened, a bit of the purge aspect of things where, didn't mention Anakin by name, but she's referring to him about the power of the Jedi Knight and turning, right?
Threw in the reference to Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got lots of little tidbits in there. And, there are lots of people who obviously don't know about these characters. Like the Mandalorian obviously doesn't know much about them. Yet they're famous characters. And you would think that some of them are somewhat famous characters in the galaxy regardless. Because they're legendary characters. But it just goes to show that the universe is huge. A lot of people don't really have a clue about the different things that happened in the universe with all this. So the stories once again are endless, just because you can go in so many different directions because nobody knows anything about anything.
That's right.
Yeah, and you can tell so many different stories, which I love. But this is, I'm hoping it's leading to a spin-off.
Yeah.
I've suspected all along all season that a lot of these characters are gonna get spun off. This is the beginning of the Filoni-verse. Yeah. And I mean,
well, obviously Jon Favreau is a part of that and has a big, he's producing, he obviously has some input, I'm sure, and I think what I like about if they get into the spin-offs, which is great, but look forward to that. What I like is the seamlessness that you throw a character like Ahsoka. You have the Clone Wars cartoons, and you have a character that when this whole Star Wars business got started, there was no such thing as Ahsoka Tano. There was no such thing as Grand Admiral Thrawn, but yet they're characters that just fit seamlessly into the story, and I think that's what's amazing about it. And you can kind of name drop an Anakin who fits in the narrative with what we saw from the original trilogy. I think it's amazing.
I think with the whole Legends and canon thing now, with not everything being canon anymore, they're able to pick and choose the great characters,
the best parts of it.
That's what they're doing, and they're picking parts of some of the canon stories as well. They're actually throwing in there little bits and pieces. So you're gonna get just based on that, because Thrawn comes from the Timothy Zahn series.
Yeah, that's right.
And I personally would have loved to have seen those movies made. Those would have been great.
Oh.
There's great characters, and there's other characters that are in there that I think they'll still be plucking other characters out.
Yeah.
And what other franchises, video games, who are we going to see yet? Like, they can pick other characters. Are we going to see Star Killer?
Yeah.
Are we going to see Dash Rengar or
Right.
things like that? They can pick and choose all these different series, and pick the cream of the crop.
Who's the one character that everybody wants to see, besides Ahsoka, who's in it? It's Mara Jade. Let's be honest. That's a character that I think everyone wants to
It
see.
can still be done too,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that's part of why Luke was gone and bitter.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean,
maybe there's more to the story there. Why?
Yeah.
At least they can make it make more sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and there's a whole period of Luke Skywalker we don't know.
There's a ton of that. Do we see Luke Skywalker in this?
Wow. Yeah. And that's interesting. Take him to a Jedi temple, see what Grogu, we know his name.
Yep.
So we go and find out if he reaches out to the Force and does someone come looking for him. But I think that's a two-sided story. You reach out with the Force, and not only does a Jedi possibly see you, so does a Sith, because they can sense that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you open yourself up to
Absolutely.
some other things there. But
I think that's the money shot though to end the season. I don't think you actually get rid of him this season yet. I think maybe that the end they have him reach out to the Force.
Yeah.
If he reaches out to the Force.
so that could be the end. You're talking the end of the
Well,
episode.
and that's where I think it can lead to,
Yeah.
where your cliffhanger is. Maybe you see a cloaked figure with 2 feet stepping into the frame, and is it Luke or somebody like that?
Well, let's not forget that Mark Hamill said that he's okay there.
We
likeness.
discussed that earlier. He's
know.
okay to use his likeness, and they could use de-aging technology. Maybe he himself is going to do it.
Yeah.
I honestly have a feeling that's where they're going with it.
Well-
and that would be doing major fan service.
And why wouldn't you do it? He said go ahead, and you're gonna ask actually Mark Hamill to come back and shoot a cameo. You're gonna get him to do it. Of course he'll do it. De-age him, do the thing. He'd do it in a heartbeat. Especially with these guys who are doing it, who are getting
Well,
started.
I think he would do it in a heartbeat for the right people.
And these are the
And
right people.
These are the right people.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. That would be the end game, the awesome ending part. I mean, I'm excited to talk about it.
because they're gonna end on a major cliffhanger
Yeah.
to suck you all in for next season and possibly the spin-offs. Like whatever they develop the season for, there's gonna be a big payoff.
Yeah.
They're building to something big, because you don't do an episode like this
No.
without a bigger payoff, because this
Yeah.
was the best episode as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so now going on that point, do we see Ahsoka again this season, or is that it? It's the one and done.
I think that's one and done. I think that they either spin her off into, like I said, the sequel cartoon for Rebels, or it's a spin-off show now, which I'm fine with, because we got Ahsoka and we got to see her live action, and it was done perfectly.
Oh, and the white bladed lightsabers, the dual lightsabers, like that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm geeking out. Like, I'm fanboy.
Oh,
like, it's
yeah,
like
just-
that was absolutely perfect. Like, if they didn't do another episode this season, if that was the end for this season,
yeah.
I'd have been happy. That was great.
Absolutely. I mean, I think as any hardcore Star Wars fan, that's what we want. We want it done how we all imagined it. How the legend stories we read before, like you mentioned Timothy Zahn's books. I remember when those came out, and I read them. I'm like, well, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
They
a continuation of Luke Skywalker, and what he was going through, and it's amazing. I think that kind of fan service.
It didn't retread on the previous stories.
No.
Like, unfortunately, and The Force Awakens kind of did a little bit.
Yeah.
But those stories, which I'd hoped for, because they were fresh, they were something different,
Yeah.
but yet they caught your imagination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this Mandalorian show is doing. I mean, it's invigorating all of us Star Wars fans to stay up late, wait for the episode to drop, and then talk about it. And that's what we're all doing here.
Well, it's the biggest show, I believe, in the world right now.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And I think if this is what we can get, if this is what we can look forward to for spin-offs like Ahsoka, the Obi-Wan show, which I love Obi-Wan, and I'm looking forward to that show. I mean, I know they're talking it's only going to be possibly 6 episodes of some sorts, but I hope there's more. But I guess you're limited, right? What do you do in the period for him just sitting on his own for?
But did he just sit on his own?
Nah,
We don't know, right?
He could have been off
Because he was
world.
there. He was there for 20 years.
Yeah, he could have been off world on doing things.
There's 20 years worth of stories you could do with him, and maybe they'll wait and see how things play out. Because
Yeah.
you can do stories. We don't even know exactly when it's set.
Yeah.
So nothing's filmed. Nothing. We don't know anything about it. So they could essentially do another sequel series or second season or whatever they're doing, however they're laying it out. But there's so many possibilities right now. Like,
Oh yeah. What strikes me as we've been watching these is these episodes, don't feel long. And we're sitting
don't
here-
feel long
we're-
enough.
Yeah, we're sitting. Yeah, you want more.
yeah,
We're sitting here for 40 plus minutes, and I'm thinking, oh, they could do some more here, and it doesn't feel like I sat there for 40 minutes.
no, and
Yeah.
and it's just television show based too. There's just if they do want to branch out and make other series, or there's just so much room to tell stories.
Yeah.
It was actually really small in scope.
Yeah.
They actually focused a lot more on the action and introducing the character, and they were doing fan service. They had the battles. You got to see Ahsoka in action multiple times, and it, like you said, it went by very quickly
Oh yeah.
and without telling a great amount of story.
Well, and that's it. I guess that's the thing. Like I was thinking about it, there wasn't a whole lot of lines.
No,
There wasn't a lot of speaking.
there even actually, even if you think about what were the sets, there were some
Yeah.
trees and a base.
You didn't need. You didn't need.
No,
anything else, right?
and you didn't. Yeah, you didn't care.
Yeah, you're just because I think you're so engaged in that characters, and I mean, like how ironic that a Mandalorian and a Jedi are working together. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they even said that. Like,
Well, and he doesn't know the real history of it all either. He doesn't care. Like he's there on his mission,
yeah,
and he's just there to get the kid to where he needs to be.
yeah,
And I still think, like I said, I think it'll end up being Luke Skywalker, because at this point there are no Jedi, like no true Jedi known in the universe. There's Ahsoka, who technically isn't a Jedi. Is Ezra Bridger still out there?
Yeah.
But he's technically not a Jedi.
yeah, because no one's trained him really.
He's got force powers and
Well,
he's got
there's-
abilities,
So
but
got
he
trained.
was a Padawan, but he's not a Jedi yet.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the question. He's got Grogu's got an attachment to Mando.
Yep.
They're buddies.
It's basically family
Yeah.
at this point.
And he doesn't want to leave him.
Yeah.
Mando doesn't really want to give him up.
But you could even see at the end when Ahsoka had left him with her.
Yeah.
With Mando, when they were walking away, had that connection, that force connection. She could see he was basically, you could tell it was along lines of a thank you or something.
Yeah.
I'm with my dad or my
friend or, yeah.
friend or my family where I should be.
Yeah, well, we trust him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you're gonna take care of me, and it's good. And I think that's great. I mean, I didn't think he was ever gonna leave him, because he's part of the show. It's the character. You're not gonna do that. So I think it's where you got to go with those two.
How far do you stretch that out though?
Well, that's the thing. So I guess the question is, Luke's the payoff at the end, maybe, possibly. Does he go with Luke? And at that point, we don't know much about it, because obviously we know where Force Awakens goes, we know where Last Jedi goes, we know where Rise of Skywalker goes, and we don't have any mention of this Grogu.
Nope.
So what's happened in that time frame? I mean, let's not forget, from this point of this show, 25 years later, roughly, it'd be for
A lot can happen,
Force Awakens, right? Yeah, that's a long time.
And Ahsoka didn't want to train him
Yeah,
because she sensed fear. Even if he does reach out through the Force,
yeah,
if it is Luke or whoever, they may sense that too and just say, he can't be trained.
yeah, that could be.
Because it's not, he is a child, but he isn't a child. He's 50 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Still childlike though.
and she said there was parts that were missing from his memory that she couldn't access. So something traumatic happened.
Oh yeah.
Something,
Well, maybe you saw Anakin come in and kill all the younglings.
you never know.
Like-
Or was he taken by not a Jedi? Maybe he was taken by Sith.
Yeah, that's possible.
We don't know what's happened to this
Yeah.
kid.
I mean, we've got Imperials looking for this kid, and who the Imperials are working for, of course, the biggest baddie of them all, and Palpatine. So
Are they working for him at this point yet, though? We don't know that.
No, I mean,
Like-
and we don't know. We don't know.
But who's really pulling the strings here?
Maybe it's Thrawn.
Well, I don't think it's the Moff.
You don't think it's Gideon?
No, he's got to answer to somebody. I think
for
at
sure.
this point. I think Thrawn will play a major part in the overall arc of some of these things.
We
Sure.
can use him.
I think
Good
he's still
guy.
going to be part of the spin-off, but I think this will overlap into that a little bit somehow.
Yeah, because I mean, theoretically, you can do whatever you want with him because he's
He's-
always lurking. Right?
He's the
always
master technician or
Yeah.
tactician,
Yeah,
and something big is happening. It's all being planned out. Who would have been doing this?
yeah.
Who better?
I mean, we have all these questions, and
Yep.
we could go on for a million questions
yeah.
of what's happening. I mean, does Grand Admiral Thrawn know that Palpatine's dead? Does he know that he's hanging out on?
Or does Grand Admiral Thrawn, like, realistically, where is he, period? Like,
Yeah.
because she's looking for him, and this lady apparently knows where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So
But did she give him that information?
we
'Cause
don't, we don't
give her
know.
that information. Did she give Ahsoka that information? We don't know
We don't know what happened.
because that was all behind closed scene, and we don't know.
And also, why is she looking for him?
Yeah,
Is Ezra still alive?
I still think that's what she's looking for.
To find Ezra?
Yeah. Has to.
Well, that's where they left off with Rebels.
Yeah.
But or did something else happen to him, and they're just looking for revenge.
Yeah.
For revenge.
Where's Hera?
Hera's still around, from what I understood.
Yeah, I mean,
She's with the Rebels.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Who
it.
was Sabine?
Well, that's the other question, right? Yeah.
And where's what's his name? The other guy who hung out with him.
Oh, Zeb.
Zeb.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? Is he with him? Where's Rex?
Yeah. There's a lot of.
There's a lot of characters who
Yeah,
can.
there's a lot of characters you could bring in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's interesting because there's so many ways you can go. There's so many ways you can go with the story. Your favorite part of the episode, what was it?
The whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just, that episode was fan service. The whole time you were excited to see what happened next. You were drawn into it. It was, if you want to get technical, sure, the scene where she lit her lightsabers up, and it was classic Ahsoka, and like I said, visually it was Dave Filoni. As soon as you saw it, it's like, Dave Filoni's got to be doing this episode because it was just done so perfectly. He knew the character, so I didn't really have a favorite part. I was just a fan of that episode in general. Yeah.
Well, and we were right. We called it was Michael Biehn who was in the episode, and he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he kind of did that Western type scene, being in Tombstone.
Tombstone.
You
And
know,
that's what I was thinking.
Johnny
too.
Ringo.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, longer. Let's do it.
Yeah. He played off on that really well, and I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Right? And they're drawing in certain cameo actors, and they kind of will resemble some of their more famous roles.
That's right.
And I love that.
I love the Western take
And
in the Mandalorian. It's just
the old West feel.
it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like those spaghetti westerns back in the day where you could watch a half an hour episode and just be into it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is what I'm here for, you know. No, I think my favorite part of the show, I mean, it's Ahsoka. It's amazing. I just like the connection. I think that's what about this episode I like. The connection with the past, you know, where they are in the present at the time, and for what's in the future. You know, so we got a little bit of everything. We got the present part where they're trying to find out what's happening, who's Grogu, what's Ahsoka doing. Going to the past, you're talking about Anakin. You know, you're referencing Anakin. You don't mention you're referencing,
They're referencing
Yoda.
a lot of yeah.
And then now you're talking about possible other Jedi reaching out to Grogu, and you know, like we said, Luke Skywalker.
Well, it's got to be Luke,
amazing.
because there are another Jedi
that we know.
alive.
Yeah, that we know. I don't think there isn't
No.
because
There's force wielding people, but there's no Jedi. Luke is
Return of the Jedi.
Luke is the last Jedi, really.
Yeah.
And I would assume that's where they're going to go with it. And if that is, like I said, that's a huge, massive, massive payoff for the fans.
I really hope that Mark Hamill makes an appearance. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I'm picking a character that I love out of all of Star Wars, it's Luke Skywalker.
If you're watching this, Mark Hamill, you better be showing
Yeah,
up.
please, Mark. Just make that cameo for us.
Yes,
eh?
absolutely.
Or even like us, maybe something like that.
So, what's next? Where are they going next? What do you see happening here?
Well, okay, so he's tasked. His next task is to go to this Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the next stop.
Is that next stop?
Well,
or is
I
it-
don't think. I think we're going to have a little side mission. I think the Imperial's got to be catching up here.
Well, they're tracking them,
Yeah.
right?
So maybe the next episode we get intercept by the Imperials. You get into a little bit of dodgy action there, and then you're going to make your way to the Jedi Temple. Maybe that's kind of an end part, like you said, end game with him reaching out with the Force and possibly, hopefully, Luke Skywalker showing up. Hopefully that's it. And honestly, if you asked me if I thought Luke Skywalker would even possibly be mentioned in this or in the Mandalorian, I would have said no way. Like, even without reading any spoilers, I would have never
No,
thought.
before Ahsoka and them were becoming involved, when we knew that they were going to be in the season,
Yeah.
I thought I think there was ever a possibility. Yeah, I actually did, because
Just 'cause of the time,
just
right?
just the time frame and the fact that they have a Force sensitive kid.
Mhm.
But did I really think it would happen? Really think no. But with everything that's happening in this season so far, do I think there's a possibility? I think there's a strong
Yeah.
possibility, and I'm hoping for it.
Ah,
Will I be disappointed if he isn't? Yes and no. But like, you can't be disappointed. Like, you understand if he's not, but if he is, that's a massive payoff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if they don't, they got something else up their sleeve, because they're building a bigger universe here,
Yeah.
and they're doing a good job of it so far. I don't see the end game where they're going with it, because they're another season or two planned out already,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I truly don't know where they're going with it. I don't know how they're going to drag it out, or maybe the child will go in separate ways at some point,
Yeah.
and you can still tell newer stories and different stories with the Mandalorian, because there's endless stories he can do, right?
Well, and I wonder what like you said, what the end game. If you're planning it out, how many seasons you're going? We're at season 2 here. DK 4 seasons, 5 seasons max. Like how long can you actually stretch out Moff Gideon chasing you for the child?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that story's going to get dragged out that far.
Yeah.
There's got to be an end game for it. And like I said, even if it's the end of the season, the child is found by Luke,
Mm-hmm.
you can still tell a million different stories with the Mando, because he can go bounty hunting and he can have different other adventures. He can get into other things,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to have anything whatsoever to do with the Force or these other characters.
Yeah.
You can, like you said, it's like the old spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
He can go off and have other adventures with other people completely unrelated to this, and then some of these side spin-offs
Yeah.
can deal with that.
Because I read a story, or like an article, and they were talking about like these side spin-offs, and saying that that they maybe would recast Luke Skywalker, and I hope they don't do that, because at this point in time, I guess this is where I'm at, and they were all this referencing back to Solo with Donald Glover's character and
All in all, right?
and talking about them. Now, the reason why I don't really want to see future stories with those two playing Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, or another actor playing Luke Skywalker, is because we know in this time period, it's Harrison Ford, it's Billy D. Williams, it's Mark Hamill as those characters.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to, like for me, if you want to tell a story with Han Solo and Lando pre A New Hope,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm fine. If they want to do a series
I
with those
agree.
guys, let's do it. But I don't want to see someone else play Mark Hamill's role
No.
of Luke Skywalker.
No. You know what? If it comes down to it, where they actually have someone else play the role,
Yeah.
and like they do how they did with Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
It was a different actor playing, but they digitized his face on.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that if Mark Hamill comes back, or they digitize his face and he maybe even does the dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that if it's actually a different actor playing the part.
Yeah.
But it should be Mark Hamill's face. It should be his
Yeah.
voice.
I agree. I just think
that's Luke.
you can't change that. Yeah, I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
And like I said, the thing with Star Wars, I mean, we're set in the past. So we can always reference back old characters, which I think is amazing. But like going forward, like after Rise of Skywalker, if you want to go, and I'd rather see new characters come in. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're talking. We were talking about the Old Republic stuff, or what was it? What's the next section?
The High Republic.
High Republic. Yeah. I'm okay with new characters.
Oh, for sure.
I like that idea because
The only old character you're really going to get is Yoda because he's old.
yeah, and you can always get Frank Oz to do
Yeah.
a little voice work, right?
Yeah.
And he will.
And realistically, you can get other people to voice him, I'm sure
Yeah.
too. But you're gonna get a ton of new characters.
Mhm.
Movie wise, I think movie wise, we're not gonna see any familiar faces really anymore, other than maybe Yoda, or maybe you'll know the names or faces like a Darth Bane or things like that.
Yeah.
You'll get that kind of stuff. But I don't think you're ever gonna really see any of these classic characters again, other than maybe possibly if they do a Solo sequel or anything like that.
No, I'd like that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Solo,
I like that movie. It was actually quite good.
I liked it, considering the mess that Ron Howard had to deal with, and he went in and did a good job. And it gets flack for no reason. It actually is a really well done movie.
It was the whole. They released it too quickly after Last Jedi,
Last Jedi,
and they didn't promote it. They didn't because of the backlash that Last Jedi got.
The Last Jedi really did a number on it. It wasn't Solo movie's fault. Because it was a well done movie.
It still made money though. That's the thing.
Did it make money?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it lost money.
No, I don't think so.
But even regardless,
wrong.
I think after the fact, after everything that's happened and where everything stands right now, with the Last Jedi's taste not really in everybody's mouth as bad as it was, you come back with the sequel for that movie, and you have Darth Maul involved now. Like, I mean, he might not be that, but a spin-off of his own. You can make some great movies there yet. I was looking forward to Solo. I wasn't, really overly keen of replacing Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Because Harrison Ford is Han Solo.
Oh,
I don't care how many movies they do, or Harrison Ford is Han Solo, just like he is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But they did a good job of the movie. I thought it was well done, and I'd be willing to watch another one for sure.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that. So, your thoughts on the casting? Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly. Looked absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And
And there's some backlash. Let's not forget that. There's backlash because, she didn't voice the cartoon character.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted the same actress to play the part, and I understand that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like,
Well, they got Bo-Katan's.
yeah, and I don't think that, was it Ashley Eckstein?
Yeah.
I don't think she would have looked the part as much. But the makeup and stuff, you never know.
Yeah.
But Rosario Dawson was a great choice. It was. I never once did I sit there and think, maybe not.
Yeah.
She was perfect casting. I
Yeah.
looked at her and
Absolutely.
that's Ahsoka.
No, I totally agree. And if I would have known at the time that I was going to be taking a picture at a Comic-Con with Rosario Dawson and she was going to be Ahsoka Tano, that would have been crazy. Even just thinking about it now, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no,
She's Ahsoka Tano, and I have a picture with
if
her.
you go back in time and knowing that,
Oh,
yeah,
that's unreal.
I guess you just have to meet her again and
Yeah.
get it autographed.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like I said, she's
And two people in what, 2 episodes in a row you've met now? Carl Weathers
and Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't complain. That's for sure. So just a geek nerd at heart here, just getting to see these people in real life and seeing them be in Star Wars, which is I think is awesome. So and they're good actors, and I think that's what's amazing is
They're casting the right people. They don't. It's not no politics, no nothing. They're looking for the right people to play the parts, and they're doing a great job.
Well, and it's kind of like with the MCU, same thing. The casting's been brilliant, and
You get the best person for the part.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's been some people that are like, oh, why did they hire that person, or why are they in there? And then you see them in the role, and you're like, huh.
It's like going off the board back to when they cast Heath Ledger as the Joker. Even I thought, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but after seeing Batman Begins, I was like, you know what, they have a pretty good grasp on this.
Yeah.
Sometimes the obvious choice is not the best choice.
No, you're right. And I guess that's why we watch the movies, to find out whether it's going to be, if they hit it on the head perfectly or they didn't.
And there's been
Yeah.
a lot more hits than misses. So
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's not like the Captain Americas and Spider-Man's of the 80s.
yeah, no, but you have to also look at the limited budgets and technology back then, and just the cheese factor of overall all the shows back then.
So bad.
Yes, it was very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like I said, overall reaction on the episode, I loved it.
Probably my favorite episode.
Yeah, I agree, and it just makes you I want another one. I want another one.
Yeah. Like I said, it was almost like the Ahsoka stole the thunder of the show,
Mhm.
but I'm okay with that
No,
if you're building up to something else.
absolutely.
So if we see more Ahsoka, great. If we don't, at least we got to see her.
Exactly. Well, and this is episode 5, so it's midway point of the season. What a great midway point. You're invested for the last 5 episodes.
I think it's only 8.
Is
isn't
it 8?
Yeah.
Is it 8?
I think there's
Okay,
only
well-
3 more. There's only 3 more.
That's it? Well, I wanted 10.
I'd want 20.
Oh, I know.
I would take it, but I think there's 3 episodes left. They got to cram a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
I think this is the episode, like I mentioned earlier in one of our other talks. This is where things are going to start really picking up.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they would do Ahsoka this early, but I understand why they have now.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely a lead up.
but it's stepping on the gas now. They're going for the end game here. I think the episodes are going to be very action packed, really furthering the story, and leading to a massive payoff or cliffhanger at the end.
So, episode 6 is going to come out next Friday. And obviously, we got to get some Imperial interference in here.
Well, they got to show up at some
It's
point.
got to happen.
Yeah.
So, then who's on the Imperial Gideon's tail? It's got to be Bo. So, she's got to make another appearance this season.
I would assume that we're going to get, at some point, maybe the Imperials have Mando in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And that's where you're gonna see almost out of nowhere the Mandalorians coming again and saving
Yeah,
the butt.
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And so, I mean, but I think is, do you dispatch a Moff Gideon after this season, or do you keep carrying him on? Like I said, how long can you stretch a guy out? That's always what I
depends
say.
on what they do with the spin-offs and
Yeah.
what they're doing with these characters. If they're not spin-offs, maybe Thrawn will be part of this. Because
That's
maybe
possible.
you dispatch with the Moff Gideon and then you bring in Thrawn, the big bad.
That'd be pretty cool.
But
actually.
at the same
Yeah.
time, I think they're building a bigger universe.
Yeah.
I think that they're gonna have their own other stories to tell because they want more shows. If they're successful like this, they want more shows. They
Right.
want your viewership, and they're gonna get it if they start doing these spin-offs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You get a Ahsoka Tano show, you get a Boba Fett show, you get an Obi-Wan show.
I still think, speaking of Obi-Wan, that we possibly could get an Obi-Wan cameo yet. Just because he was on set.
But how?
Of course, he's a Force Ghost. He'd be a Force Ghost.
Yeah, okay, I never thought about that.
Because
yeah,
that's another possibility that we get. Maybe if it's not Luke,
Who's he appearing to? Ahsoka?
maybe he appears to Mando and to the child. Maybe he's the one who will appear.
At the temple?
Possibly.
Well, that's
you never know, right?
You know what?
Because he was on.
That might make more sense actually than Luke coming.
Yeah, because he was on set doing a fitting.
Yeah.
You never know,
if
right?
you believe that fitting thing.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna tell you. They want to surprise you. I'm good either way, but who knows? You maybe
Him being
want
a Force Ghost, actually that makes a lot of sense. And he appears in the temple and says, "You need to go here." Maybe he instructs him to drop him off to Luke.
Yeah, you never know.
That's interesting.
There's endless possibilities.
So many ways you can go.
Yeah.
Beauty of Star Wars.
I'm excited for these last 3 episodes here.
Yeah, me too. And like I said, I think this show, this series, just renews my belief that Star Wars is just an amazing universe. You know, like I know when the last 3 movies came out and got a little bit weird, and my belief in it just kind of was like, oh, I don't know about this.
They definitely tested this.
Yeah, and it's like, do I really like this? Is this universe as awesome as I think it is, or am I just fooling myself? you know, but this is really bringing me back.
Well, this is more like if you and I were producers on Star Wars,
Yeah.
what would we do?
Well,
This is
that's pretty much
something like this.
it. Yeah, agreed.
We know what as fans, we know what the characters, what we want them to be like,
Yeah,
what they should be like, and it's getting delivered on.
yeah. No, it's absolute great episode for sure. Dave Filoni knocked it out of the park. Well, that wraps up another reaction review of The Mandalorian, Chapter 13, The Jedi.
We'd love to hear from you guys, so please feel free to leave any comments or questions in the comment section below.
We hope you enjoyed this amazing episode with us. And as always, Polsey and Gator signing off.